All right, folks. So you've been training, right? You're training in this game of Tekken 8, and I'm sure many of you are doing similar things to what I'm doing, which is playing a ton of ranked. While ranked has its merits and its usefulness for training purposes and for getting better and practicing, there's another thing that I think is really important, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. Today, we're going to talk about how to pick your training partners. And it's just going to be based on what I have found works for me and what I think works for a lot of other people if they are intentional about it. Finding a training partner or training partners, which is better to have plural, more than one, is a very intimate personal experience. And it's not one to be taken lightly. What I mean is the kind of people you spend lots and lots of time with playing long sets repeatedly over a long period of time, years even, those are folks who are going to become your friends. Like, why would you spend that much time with a person you don't like, that you hate, that you find annoying, that you find to be disagreeable? So you, one, want to pick training partners that you like as people. Like, you want to like them as a person. That's really important. And I think overlooked a lot, because I know in the FGC, we care most about how strong you are, and strength is all that matters. But truly, I want to add another wrinkle to this, which is it also matters what kind of person you are. And you have to like them as people, really, first. That's first bit. Second part here is what kind of, how do they get when they're angry? Because when you're fighting someone, you're going to do things that are going to make them angry. Because they're going to get frustrated. They're going to be like, oh my God, I keep getting hit by this dumb move you keep doing. Or I keep getting hit by this mix up. Or my character's bad and your character's good. Complaints are going to come out. And you want to pick a training partner who doesn't get stuck in the complaints. So sure, do they acknowledge the complaint? Do they acknowledge this is crap? This is some bull crap? Yes, that's good. It's important. But you also want a partner who is able to move beyond that initial reaction and actually say, all right, well, what am I going to do about this? Maybe they'll ask you as their training partner, hey, how do I deal with the situation? What's the mix up here? What are my options? Now, that ties into my third point of what makes a good training partner. A good training partner can tell you what they're doing to you. They can verbalize to you what mix-ups they're doing. They can verbalize what the options are to get out of them. And they can tell you, yeah, this is what you should be doing to get out of this specific situation I'm putting you in. If they play your character, even better, they can tell you what your mix-ups are as the attacker as well. So you can think about how to defend against it too. It's really great when that happens. There's 4 tips about: 1, like the person as a whole. 2, see how they handle frustration and anger. And if they, point 3, relate to point 2, do they move through the anger? And does it become productive? Or do they sit in it and stay there? Point 4, when you ask them questions, well, first, can you even ask them questions at all to begin with? And are they capable of giving you the solutions to the problems that they present to you? Number 4. Those are all about qualities of them as a player and as a person. Now, I haven't talked about skill at all, right? That's not been on the table, because I think these other 4 things are primary. I think you could gain from playing players at different skill levels, from relative to your own. So this next part's all going to be about skill, relative skill to your opponent. Optimally, you want multiple opponents, because one of them ideally should be way stronger than you, like a light year stronger than you, so that you have a sense of experiencing what it's like to play at the highest level. Now, oftentimes, it will be hard to get a hold of players who are that much stronger than you as you get stronger, because either there are fewer of them, those players are probably busy. They might not want to fight someone so much bigger than them because they might get bored, which a lot of players who are strong feel when they fight people much bigger than them, they get bored, which is part of why they don't do it. Or they could fight someone who's at their level, or they don't see the value yet in fighting players who are much bigger than I am, which I'm going to describe to you today, later in this discussion video. A player who is about your skill level, ideally maybe a little bit stronger than you, even better, so that you can tell when you're getting stronger. And a player who's right close to your skill level, ideal, because then you two can either grow together, or and they can like be a good barometer for you to notice when you're getting stronger. Because if you're starting to beat them more and more and more, and you're also starting to beat the player who's a little bit stronger than you too, then you know you're getting stronger. That's why you want to have different players at different skill tiers, so that you can objectively measure how strong you're getting, versus just having one point where you're like your friend who you've been playing all the time, who started at the same level as you. If you just start beating that person, you don't know whether you've gotten better or whether you're just outpacing them, or maybe they've gotten worse, or like maybe you never start beating them and you just keep scrapping forever, but you're both getting stronger. That's why you want to have other players to compare yourself to have a more objective measure of like how good are you actually getting and whether you're actually improving. That's why your super strong player is really important, because they are like they are your yardstick. If you start doing well against that person, then you know you're getting stronger. And if you start really scrapping with them on equal level, then you know you've gotten way stronger at that point, right? The last one is playing someone much weaker than you. This is good for a variety of reasons. One, it's good to just have a player who you can help. Two, right? You're helping them by playing them for longer sets. Just like the player who's much stronger than you is fighting you, they're helping you too. But they're also getting something out of it as well. But it's less direct and more esoteric, other than just building the community up. The other thing you're doing is a weaker player frees up your mental stack. So now you, as the better player, can work on executing the things that you are at the edge of your ability in doing. The things you can just barely control, those are the things to work on against a weaker player. Because you can afford to mess those things up over and over again, just like they're messing up most of everything, right? So those are like the main things I would say in terms of skill you want to look for. So when a player who's much better than you, player who's a little bit better than you, player at your level, and ideally a player below your level as well. You want, in terms of characteristics of the person and your relationship, you want a person you like. You want a person who responds well to their anger and moves through it and doesn't sit there. Because here's what you want to avoid. Here's the training partner you really want to avoid like the plague. People who complain all the time and only complain and never have solutions about the problems that they're facing. All they'll do is complain about your character. They'll say, oh, this character's trash. This character's horrible. I'm tired of this. This is bullshit. Like literally all they do is complain, or they hate the game that you're playing together. They like become super negative about the game. That has an effect on like morale. And it's just not fun to hang around a person who's doing something they hate doing. Like, bro, why are we playing this game together if you find it so disagreeable to play? Like, you may not notice that, but you'll find that those kinds of players will drag you down with them. Eventually, if you spend enough time with that person, you're going to start to hate the game too, through osmosis. Because you have to keep arguing with them about, well, you know, I like this game, or I like this, or I like that, I like that, whatever. Granted, generally, I encourage people, training partners, you want them to be basically positive influences on you as a person and as a player and as a mental state. You want them to be basically positive individuals who can take losses, take wins, be gracious in, you know, losing and in defeat, in defeat and in winning. They're not going to rub their wins in your face, make you feel like shit when you die, when you lose. And they're not going to like make you feel like shit when you beat them really badly, too. They're going to cheer you on. They want to see you play the best version of you. That's what a training partner is supposed to do. You're supposed to be mutually making each other be the best versions of each other. That's the goal. That's what you want to look for in a training partner. Someone who makes you the better version of you. And those people are hard to find. So when you find someone who's like that, grab on and just stay together, because that's going to be a good friend for you in the future as well. Don't just play the game either. Talk about your lives. Talk about what you had for breakfast or whatever, how your week's been, how your day's been. Really take training partners as seriously as you do your friends, because that's who they're going to become. If you pick them well, they should become your friends. Good luck and pick wisely. Oh, also, if you want to learn about some more Tekken stuff, like mental stuff, click on this. And if you don't know about small Tekken, click on that. Or no, this is going to be whatever YouTube thinks is good for you. Click on that. It'll also help you pick your better training partners. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit this button and do it. Thank you.